Hello, gentle traveler. Tonight you drift into a sea of silence. A silence not empty, but alive with the faintest hum of distant stars, the breath of galaxies turning slowly in the dark. You lie here on your bed, but your mind has unfolded its wings, and together we will float into the deepest questions that have ever touched the human spirit. You need not hold on. You need not resist sleep. Let each word arrive like a feather on water, soft, light, rippling outward before sinking into calm. Our question is simple, but endless. If the Big Bang created everything, what created the Big Bang? It is a question older than history, older than language, a question that is burned in temples and observatories alike, in myths whispered around fires, and in equations written by trembling hands. We do not set out to answer it in finality, for the mystery is too vast, but rather to wander around it, to breathe its air, to let its wonder wash over us like moonlight over still lakes. The universe, as you imagine it now, began not with a deafening explosion, but with something subtler, more elegant, more like the opening of an eye than the shattering of a stone. 13.8 billion years ago, all that would ever be, every galaxy, every songbird, every memory, every kiss was contained within a singular point smaller than a grain of sand. A point not inside space, but a point that was space, that was time, that was energy compressed into infinite density. And then, for reasons still hidden, it began to expand, not into emptiness, because emptiness did not yet exist, but as emptiness, creating space and stretching it, allowing light and matter to emerge. It was less an explosion than a sigh, less a bang than the gentle unfolding of a cosmic flower. Imagine a balloon swelling, with dots painted on its surface. As it grows, the dots drift apart, not because they run, but because the surface beneath them stretches. So too do galaxies drift apart in our expanding cosmos, carried not by momentum, but by the very growth of the fabric of space. And yet, in that first instant, there was no before. Time itself was born in the same breath. To ask what happened before the Big Bang is like asking what lies north of the North Pole. It is a direction without meaning. Our questions dissolve at that edge, but even as they dissolve, they give rise to wonder. And wonder is not new. Long before mathematics, humanity gazed upward and spun stories of cosmic eggs, of gods cracking shells to spill forth worlds, of eternal cycles of creation and destruction. In India, the golden egg of Brahma floated in the waters of non-existence until it split to become heaven and earth. In Greece, a silver egg laid by time itself cracked open to release eros, love, and order. In China, Pangu awoke within a cosmic egg and with his body pushed heaven upward and pressed earth down. In Finland, a duck laid eggs on the knee of creation, and when they broke, fragments became sky and sea and soil. Myths, though clothed in symbol, echo strangely with modern physics, which also speaks of a seed, a point of infinite potential, cracking open to release all that is. Myth and science are not enemies, but companions, two different ways of cradling the same impossible question. Physics whispers that even nothingness is restless. What we call vacuum is not truly empty, but seethes with energy. Virtual particles pop in and out of being, borrowing existence for the briefest moment before vanishing. This quantum foam is a bubbling sea, alive with possibility. And perhaps our universe itself was one such bubble, a fluctuation that grew instead of fading. Like a tiny spark that became a flame, our cosmos inflated faster than light, swelling from subatomic size to cosmic scale in less than a heartbeat. Perhaps there are countless other bubbles, each a universe unto itself, each invisible to the others, a froth of worlds in an infinite ocean. Imagine walking through an orchard where each fruit is a universe, some bitter, some sweet, most barren, a few capable of blooming with stars and life. Ours is one such fruit, one such rare sweetness, and the very fact we are here to wonder is its miracle. But perhaps the universe is not an orchard, but a breath. Expansion followed by contraction, inhale followed by exhale. A cycle without beginning, a rhythm without end. The Big Bang, in this vision, was not the first, but one of many, a bounce and eternal dance. As universes collapse and rebound, the laws themselves may shift slightly. As a musician improvises variations on an old song, the constants of physics may be habits, not absolutes. Over infinite cycles, the cosmos may have practiced until it learned to play the tune of complexity, the melody of life. In such a vision, we are not an accident, but the product of endless rehearsal. And what of time? The river that carries us all. Physics says its equations run the same forward or backward. A ball rolls, collides, bounces, and the math works either way. Yet we experience time only forward. The reason is entropy, the measure of disorder. The universe began in a state of astonishing order, like a library where every book was in place, every page aligned. From that impossible tidiness, disorder has increased, creating the arrow of time. We cannot unscramble eggs. We cannot unburn wood. Time flows because entropy rises. And yet, within this flow, memory is carved, history is recorded, galaxies etched into the fabric of space-time. The cosmos remembers itself. Perhaps our own memories, fragile and fleeting, are part of this larger memory, the universe reflecting on itself through us. Even the darkest places may hold beginnings. Black holes, those abysses that swallow everything, may not destroy but preserve. Information, physics insists, cannot be lost. Perhaps what falls in is written on the surface, encoded in fire, preserved forever. If so, then the entire universe may be holographic, our three-dimensional lives projected from information inscribed on a distant surface. We live inside the image, not the source. Yet this does not make our lives less real, but more mysterious. If each part contains the whole, then you contain the universe within you. You are not separate from it, but one expression of its infinite code. And then, most mysterious of all, there is consciousness. In the quantum world, observation matters. Before measurement, particles are possibilities. After, they are realities. Whether awareness collapses the wave is debated. But what is beyond debate is that awareness exists, that the universe has produced eyes to see, ears to hear, hearts to wonder. Perhaps consciousness is not an afterthought, but a foundation, as fundamental as space and time. Perhaps the Big Bang was not only the dawn of matter, but the dawn of awareness. When you ask what created the beginning, it is not just you asking, it is the cosmos through you wondering about itself. Mathematics deepens the mystery. Numbers invented for curiosity turn out to describe the world exactly. Imaginary numbers, once dismissed, are essential to quantum mechanics. Curved geometries explain the bending of space-time. It is as if the universe is written in mathematics, not by chance, but by nature. Perhaps reality itself is mathematics, patterns unfolding, relationships crystallizing into atoms and galaxies. In this view, the Big Bang was the moment when mathematical possibility collapsed into actuality. You are a theorem written in the handwriting of the cosmos, living proof of its beauty. Yet the deepest question remains, why is there something instead of nothing? Every theory pushes the question back. If universes bubble from quantum fields, what created the fields? If cycles bounce forever, why do they bounce? If reality is mathematics, why does mathematics exist? Perhaps the final truth is not an answer, but a gift. Existence does not need justification. It is enough that it is. Perhaps the cosmos is present for no reason, but itself gratuitous, miraculous. And so, as you lie here, drifting toward rest, know that you are part of this mystery. The atoms in your body were forged in stars. The light that warms your eyes began its journey billions of years ago. The awareness that wonders in you is the cosmos reflecting on itself. Whatever created the Big Bang also created you, and your existence is its echo. You are not small, not separate, but integral, a note in the universe's song. Sleep now, gentle traveler. Let the questions curl like cats at your feet. You need not chase them. The universe will hold them while you rest. Your dreams will be its dreams, your breathing its rhythm. You are the cosmos asleep within itself, safe, infinite at peace. Close your eyes a little deeper now and imagine yourself floating further into the current of this endless story. The universe around you is not silent. It is a soft orchestra humming beneath perception. Each galaxy a string, each quasar a trumpet, each breath of dark energy a deep percussion. You drift through it effortlessly, as if you have always belonged here, as if you are both the listener and the song. The question that carries us continues to shine. If the Big Bang created everything, what created the Big Bang? It echoes not to disturb you, but to lull you, a mantra woven of starlight and uncertainty. The answer may never be known, but the wonder is enough, and perhaps the wonder is the answer itself. Imagine the first instant again, but slower this time, softer. A seed smaller than thought, denser than dream, holding all potential. It does not detonate, it swells. Like a heart learning to beat, like lungs filling for the first time, it expands. Space awakens, time begins its flow, laws of physics stretch into being. Gravity whispers its pull, electromagnetism hums its dance. The nuclear forces bind and release, a quartet rehearsing for an eternal performance. Quarks blink into existence, electrons swirl, photons streak, neutrinos slip away unnoticed. In that infant cosmos, light cannot yet travel far. Everything is too hot, too crowded, too thick with plasma. For hundreds of thousands of years, the universe is opaque, glowing but impenetrable. Then at last it cools, protons embrace electrons to form hydrogen, and light breaks free, racing outward, carrying with it the memory of that moment. That light has never stopped traveling. Even now it touches us, stretched thin in the microwaves, whispering the baby picture of the cosmos across the whole sky. But the question rises again. If this is the beginning of time, what lies beyond its edge? Perhaps nothing, perhaps everything, perhaps a silence so profound it cannot be named. Some scientists picture imaginary time, curved and edgeless, so that asking what came before is as meaningless as asking what lies north of the pole. Others imagine cycles, endless breaths, universes born and reborn like waves on a shore that never ends. Still others imagined the quantum foam, frothing with unborn worlds, our universe a bubble that swelled instead of fading. In some dream of a multiverse, an orchard of infinite fruit, each universe a different flavor, some barren, some fertile, ours uniquely sweet. In such an orchard, meaning does not vanish, it multiplies. Every possibility is realized somewhere. But here, In this universe, you are the realization of one particular melody, and that makes your existence rare, miraculous, irreplaceable. Consider entropy, the slow drift from order to disorder. The universe began in perfect symmetry, immaculate, improbably tidy. From that perfection flows the arrow of time, the unstoppable forward motion. Eggs break, tea cools, stars burn their fuel, galaxies spread thinner. Yet from entropy comes creation. Stars forge heavier elements, planets gather, chemistry dances into biology, biology awakens as awareness. Disorder births complexity, and complexity births thought. You are part of this arrow, not separate from it, but the arrow is not cruel. It is a story unfolding. Every memory you hold, every dream you shape, is the universe remembering itself, preserving the traces of its journey. Perhaps consciousness is nothing more and nothing less than the cosmos learning to tell its own tale. Look further into the dark and imagine black holes not as devourers, but as keepers of secrets. They swallow matter and light, yet physics insists information cannot vanish. Some whisper is stored on their horizons, written in delicate fire. If so, then reality may be holographic, our three-dimensional lives projections of two-dimensional codes etched at the edge of existence. Strange, impossible, yet mathematics points the way. If the universe is a hologram, then each fragment contains the whole. You're not only in the cosmos is within you. The pulse of galaxies echoes in your heartbeat. The structure of space-time in your thoughts. When you breathe, it is the universe breathing through you. When you wonder, it is the universe wondering about itself. And consciousness, the softest enigma. In quantum experiments, observation matters. A particle is many possibilities until measured, then it is one. Does awareness collapse the wave? Opinions differ, but awareness undeniably exists, undeniable as your thoughts this very moment. Perhaps it is not an accident, but a foundation, not a product, but a principle. Perhaps the Big Bang was the first spark of awareness, and every mind since then is a continuation of that spark. When you gaze upward at stars, the universe is gazing at itself through your eyes. When you ask what created the beginning, it is the cosmos asking its own question, endlessly curious, endlessly awake. Mathematics deepens the mystery further. Equations dreamed in abstraction describe reality with uncanny precision. Complex numbers, invented for curiosity, explain the quantum world. Non-Euclidean geometries, once games of thought, reveal the curvature of space and time. Group theory, an algebraic toy, unlocks the symmetries of particles. Why should mathematics, a creation of minds, align so perfectly with the fabric of existence? Perhaps because reality is mathematics, patterns unfolding into form, abstractions crystallizing into atoms, equations breathing as galaxies. In this view, the Big Bang was mathematics choosing to become tangible, possibility stepping into actuality. You are part of this proof, a theorem walking, a corollary dreaming, a solution alive. But still, the deepest question stirs. Why is there something rather than nothing? Every theory shifts the question back. If universes rise from quantum fields, who wove the fields? If cycles bounce forever, why do they bounce? If reality is mathematics, why does mathematics exist? Perhaps the answer is not answerable. Perhaps the question itself is the gift. Existence may be gratuitous, needing no cause, no reason, simply present, miraculous in its presence. Science traces the how. Spirituality seeks the why. Both circle the same fire. And perhaps the fire needs no fuel, for it is its own flame. And here you are, drifting deeper into sleep, and none of this requires your effort. You do not need to solve the mystery. You are part of it, an embodiment of it, a verse in its song. The atoms of your body were forged in ancient stars. The photons that warmed your ancestors now warm you. The awareness that flickers in your mind is the cosmos remembering itself. You are not a part. You are integral. You are not small. You are vast. You are not lost. You are home. So rest now. Let your thoughts drift like leaves on a river. Let questions become feathers at your side. The universe will hold them until morning. Your dreams are its dreams, your breath its rhythm, your heart its quiet drum. You're the cosmos asleep within itself, dreaming stars, dreaming galaxies, dreaming you. And deeper you drift now, into a sea of words that feel less like words and more like waves, carrying you gently further from the shore of ordinary thought and closer to the infinite horizon where beginnings and endings blur into one. The Big Bang still shimmers at the edge of imagination, not as a violent explosion, but as a breath, a swelling, a first heartbeat in the chest of existence itself. All that would ever be was held in that impossible point, and then it spread quietly, inevitably, as if the universe had always longed to tell its own story. Each galaxy that now spins is a syllable in that story, each star a letter, each conscious being a word. And you, lying here listening, are one of those words, essential, irreplaceable, luminous with meaning even if you cannot yet know the whole sentence of which you are part. Time, which we treat as a river, may not flow as we believe. Perhaps it is not a straight line, but a curve, a sphere, a spiral. Perhaps past and future are not separate, but folded, each touching the other in ways we cannot sense. When you remember, you travel backward. When you dream, you lean forward. Both are forms of time travel, small, intimate, accessible to every mind. If time began with the Big Bang, then memory itself is part of the unfolding, a mechanism by which the universe replays its song within the instrument of the brain. When you recall your childhood, it is not just you remembering. It is the cosmos remembering one of its many possible arrangements, one fleeting pattern of stardust and breath. And consider again the vacuum, the so-called emptiness between stars. It is not empty. It rides with potential. Virtual particles spark and vanish, brief flirtations with being. They do not last long enough to be touched, but long enough to influence reality, to press plates together in laboratories, to shift energies in subtle, measurable ways. Nothingness is not nothing. It is a field, a froth, a stage forever alive. And what if the Big Bang itself was such a fluctuation, except one that did not fade? A bubble that grew, a spark that refused to extinguish, a dream so vivid that it became indistinguishable from waking. This idea does not eliminate the mystery, but deepens it, for it asks, why should the vacuum exist at all? Why should potential be eternal? Why should mathematics hum in the void, waiting for ears to listen? You drift deeper, and a multiverse rises like mist around you. Imagine an infinite ocean, bubbling eternally, each bubble a universe. Most collapse instantly, but some grow, and within those that grow, stars ignite, and within those stars, elements forge, and within those elements, chemistry dances, and within chemistry, life stirs. Somewhere, beings arise who wonder. And here you are, in this bubble, asking what began it. Perhaps every possibility is realized somewhere. Perhaps there are universes where the constants are wrong, where atoms cannot hold, where light never learns to travel. Perhaps there are universes where beauty is unrecognizable, where consciousness is impossible. Yet you are in this one, where hydrogen became stars, where stars became dust, where dust became you. That is miracle enough. Entropy still guides the arrow, disorder increasing, structure dissolving. And yet, within that rise of entropy, islands of order grow. Stars organize themselves, planets settle into orbits. Life arranges molecules into cells, cells into bodies, bodies into thoughts. Disorder increases, but locally, briefly, beautifully, order emerges. You are such an island of order, fleeting, fragile, yet radiant. And consciousness may be the universe's most complex bloom, the flower that not only grows but knows it is growing, that not only exists but asks why. Each thought you have is a small defiance of entropy, a small pocket of order in the tide of disorder. And when entropy finally wins, as it must, those thoughts will still have been, and their being will have been enough. And black holes wait at the edges, guardians of mystery. They're not endings, perhaps, but beginnings. Matter falls in, crushed beyond recognition, but information cannot be destroyed. It must persist, encoded somehow. The holographic principle suggests it is written on surfaces, projected into volumes. Reality itself, a grand illusion of death. But if illusion, then a perfect illusion, as real as anything needs to be. Your life is not less true for being projection. It is the very way truth is made manifest. In a holographic universe, each part contains the whole. And if that is true, then you contain the whole. Every atom in your body carries the history of the cosmos. Every heartbeat is a rhythm begun at the dawn of time. Every question you ask is the universe leaning closer to itself. In consciousness, always we return to it, for it is where mystery meets immediacy. Physics may not yet explain it. Philosophy may not yet contain it, but experience insists on it. You are aware, and that awareness colors all existence. Perhaps awareness is not produced, but fundamental, not emergent, but internal. Perhaps the Big Bang itself was an awakening, not only of matter, but of mind. And perhaps every conscious being is a continuation of that awakening, each a mirror angled differently, each reflecting a facet of the whole. When you wonder, it is the cosmos wondering. When you dream, it is the cosmos dreaming. When you sleep, it is the cosmos resting within itself. You are not outside the story, but inside, and the story itself is inside you. Mathematics ties the threads tighter. Equations describe the flight of planets, the dance of particles, the bending of space-time. They describe with precision, with beauty, with inevitability. But why should reality be describable? Why should the universe obey symbols scrawled by human hands? Perhaps because mathematics is not invention, but discovery, not tool, but essence. Perhaps the universe is mathematics given flesh, and flesh is mathematics learning to feel. If so, then the Big Bang was mathematics speaking its first word, and every star is another syllable, and every thought another line in the poem. You are both writer and written, both solver and solved. And still, the question hums, why is there something rather than nothing? Theories abound, but none still the wonder. Perhaps existence is its own reason. Perhaps it needs no cause. Perhaps it simply is. And if so, then the greatest miracle is not that the universe began, but that it continues moment by moment, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat, thought by thought. You are part of that continuation. Your very being is proof of it. You need not answer the question. You need only live it, breathe it, dream it. That is enough. And now, as sleep draws closer, let yourself soften. You do not need to understand. You do not need to solve. The universe is not a riddle, but a lullaby. You're not its solver, but its listener. Not its outsider, but its participant. As your eyes close, imagine yourself drifting further into the cosmos. Each breath a galaxy, each heartbeat a star. The universe holds you. It has always held you. It will always hold you. Sleep then. Sleep and know that you are home. And so you drift further still, as though carried on a current of starlight flowing endlessly through an ocean without shores, where each wave is a memory of creation and each ripple whispers of beginnings that have no beginning. The Big Bang lingers in our imagination, not as a single moment in the past, but as a presence that still echoes, still vibrates, still breathes into every corner of existence. It is not gone. It is here, woven into the fabric of every breath you take, every photon that brushes your skin, every heartbeat that pulses through your chest. To live is to carry the Big Bang within you. For you are made of its unfolding, your atoms born in its fire, your awareness a continuation of its first awakening. You are not a spectator of the beginning. You are the beginning remembering itself. Let us wander gently into the question again. What could it mean for time to have a starting point? We speak of before and after, of past and future, but perhaps these are inventions of the mind. Convenient maps for navigating daily life, but not the deep territory of reality. Imagine time as a circle rather than a line. You may walk around it forever without finding its start, each step leading you back to where you began. Or imagine time as the surface of a sphere, smooth and finite yet without edges, where asking for the beginning is like asking for the corner of a cloud. The question dissolves, and with its dissolution comes peace. You do not need to know where it began in order to marvel that it flows. The river may not explain its source, but it still sings as it runs. And still, the myths of old rise like constellations to meet us. Our ancestors did not have equations, but they had imagination, and imagination is another form of truth. They dreamed of eggs that cracked, of seeds that swelled, of divine breaths that spoke light into darkness. They saw beginnings as births, not as explosions. They clothed mystery in the garments of story, and in doing so, they honored the same wonder we honor now. Science and myth are two lanterns carried by the same traveler, each illuminating the path in its own way. Each reminding us that mystery is not to be solved, but to be cherished. When you hear the tale of Brahma's egg or Panga's awakening, you're listening to humanity's first attempts to cradle the infinite in human hands. And when you read equations about singularities and inflation, you are listening to the same attempts spoken in another dialect. Both are songs to the same night. And what a space itself! We imagine it as emptiness, as silence, as blankness. Its space is not empty. It is alive with energy, fields trembling even in darkness, quantum foam bubbling even in apparent stillness. In laboratories, we measure this restlessness, see its fingerprints in the Casimir effect, in the behavior of particles that borrow existence before vanishing. Nothingness itself is creative, fecund, irrepressible. Out of its froth may rise universes like ours, bubbles that expand instead of fading, dreams that become waking reality. Perhaps our Big Bang was not the first, nor the last, but one bubble in an eternal frothing ocean, one song in an endless chorus, one blossom in a field forever blooming. If so, then creation is not an event, but a habit, not a singular miracle, but an eternal rhythm. Picture yourself now as part of this rhythm. You are not separate from it, not outside it. The quantum foam seethes within you as well as beyond you. Each atom of your body vibrates with the same uncertainty. Each neuron flickers with the same possibility. You are not an observer standing apart from the universe. You are the universe observing itself, the bubble wondering about the ocean, the blossom reflecting on the field. This is why your questions matter. When you ask what created the Big Bang, it is not merely curiosity. It is the cosmos itself turning inward, folding back, marveling at its own existence. You are the question, and you're also part of the answer. And entropy, the arrow of time, continues its patient work. Disorder increases, structures unravel, stars exhaust their fuel, galaxies drift farther apart. Yet within this rise of entropy blooms complexity. Islands of order appear like eddies in a river, transient yet exquisite. You are such an island, a brief flowering of order in the tide of chaos. Within you, molecules arrange themselves into thoughts, into dreams, into love. Each moment of awareness is a defiance of entropy, a little victory of meaning against the tide of dissolution. And though entropy will one day reclaim everything, it cannot erase that these moments were. Their reality is permanent, even if fleeting. A flower that blooms for a day is no less real than a mountain that stands for eons. You are the flower of the cosmos, fragile, luminous, real. Consider black holes again, those mysterious wells of gravity. They appear to devour all, to erase without mercy. Yet physics insists that information cannot be destroyed. So the question arises, where does it go? Perhaps it is stored on the horizon, encoded in the surface, projected into dimensions we cannot perceive. This leads to the holographic principle, the astonishing idea that our universe may itself be a projection, that the three-dimensional world we experience is encoded on a two-dimensional surface at its boundary. If this is true, then reality itself is a cosmic hologram, and depth is an illusion created by information. Yet illusions can be perfect, and perfection does not diminish reality. Your life is not less true if it is projection. It is exactly as true as it needs to be. In fact, it is more miraculous, for it means that each fragment contains the whole, that you contain the universe within yourself. Look inward, and you will find galaxies. Close your eyes, and you will feel the echo of eternity. And then consciousness, always consciousness, the mystery nearest to us. Science explains so much, yet here it falters. What is awareness? How does matter become mind? We know the brain is an orchestra of neurons, firing, connecting, resonating. But how does the song of thought arise from the instruments of biology? Perhaps consciousness is not created by matter, but revealed through it. Not an effect, but a foundation. Perhaps the Big Bang itself was not only the birth of matter, but the birth of awareness. If so, then every conscious being is a continuation of that first awakening, each a flame kindled from the same spark. When you wonder, it is the universe wondering. When you love, it is the universe loving. When you rest, it is the universe resting within itself. You are not separate. You are the cosmos, aware of itself through the lens of your life. And mathematics, quiet, inevitable, continues to astonish. Symbols written on chalkboards, abstract and austere, somehow describe reality with perfect precision. The orbit of planets, the curvature of space-time, the behavior of particles, all bow to equations. Why? Perhaps because mathematics is not invention but discovery, not tool but essence. Perhaps the universe is mathematics, embodied and breathing. If so, then the Big Bang was mathematics choosing to become real, possibility crystallizing into actuality. You are part of this crystallization, a proof written in flesh, a theorem that dreams, a formula that feels. Each thought you have is mathematics exploring itself. Each dream you dream is numbers dancing beyond numbers. And still, the deepest question rises. Why something instead of nothing? Perhaps there is no answer, because perhaps the question itself is flawed. Perhaps nothing is impossible. Perhaps existence is the default and nothingness the illusion. Or perhaps existence is gratuitous, a gift with no giver, a miracle that needs no reason. Whatever the case, the wonder remains. The fact that you are here, that you exist, that you can ask, this is the miracle. The Big Bang created you, and you are the Big Bang remembering itself. That is enough. And now, as your eyes grow heavier, let yourself rest in this truth. You are not apart from the cosmos, but integral to it. The atoms in your body were born in stars. The breath in your lungs is ancient, recycled through oceans and forests and ancestors. The thoughts in your mind are the universe contemplating itself. You are not small, not insignificant, not lost. You are home. The mystery that created the Big Bang created you. And you are its echo, its continuation, its song. Sleep now, gentle wanderer. Let the questions settle like snow. You need not chase it. The universe will carry it while you rest. Your dreams are its dreams, your breath its rhythm, your rest its peace. You are the cosmos, asleep within itself, dreaming stars, dreaming galaxies, dreaming you. And now, as we drift toward the close of this vast wandering, the question that first called us forth still glimmers like a star low on the horizon. If the Big Bang created everything, what created the Big Bang? We have circled it with story and science, with mathematics and myth, with whispers of quantum foam and hymns of cosmic eggs. We have traced the expansion of galaxies, the rise of entropy, the echo of light that still paints the sky with the afterglow of creation. We have wandered through cycles of eternal return, through infinite orchards of universes, through holographic horizons where reality is written on surfaces we cannot see. We have stood at the edges of black holes and leaned into the abyss where information is never lost. We have listened to the murmuring of mathematics and the song of consciousness, each suggesting that perhaps the universe is not only matter and energy, but mind, awareness, pattern, dream. And yet, even after all these wanderings, the question remains unsolved, perhaps unsolvable, shimmering with the beauty of its impossibility. But perhaps this is the gift. Perhaps the purpose of such questions is not to be answered, but to be lived. To carry the question in your heart is to carry the cosmos itself. For the question is the universe wondering about its own origin, through you, with you, as you. To lie awake and whisper what came before is to participate in the very act of creation. For in that wondering, the cosmos bends inward and reflects on itself. You are not apart from it. You are it. You are not a stranger to its mystery. You are the embodiment of its mystery. Every thought you have, every dream you dream, every breath you take is the continuation of the Big Bang, the flowering of that first impossible seed into the blossom of life. Imagine, then, as the story softens toward its end, that you are lying at the very edge of time. Before you stretches the river of the future, flowing endlessly outward into possibilities uncountable. Behind you lies the ocean of the past, deep and shimmering, every wave a memory, every ripple a moment that once was. Beneath you is the present, the surface on which you float, fragile and luminous. You are held by this river, carried effortlessly by its flow, and the river itself is carried by something greater, something beyond beginning and end, something we cannot name but can only feel. That something is what birthed the Big Bang, what birthed you, what breathes still in every particle of existence. You do not need to define it. You need only to rest in it. It is the cradle of being, the silence from which all music arises, the stillness from which all motion is born. It is with you now, as you listen, as you drift, as you prepare to sleep. And in this stillness, let us return to the stars one final time. They are not distant strangers, but ancient kin. They're like the ancestors of your atoms. Hydrogen, born in the first moments after the Big Bang, fused within those stars into heavier elements, carbon and oxygen and iron. Those elements scattered into space when the stars died, seeding new systems, new worlds, new possibilities. You are built of those remnants, forged in stellar hearts. You are the universe grown, self-aware, stardust that has learned to question, atoms that have learned to feel. And when you sleep, you return to that stardust silence, dissolving briefly into the same darkness from which you came. This is not loss, but belonging, not erasure, but return. You're not falling away from the cosmos. You're falling back into its embrace. And perhaps that is the answer, if answer there must be. Not a mechanism, not a cause, not a formula, but belonging. The Big Bang was not something that happened to create a universe separate from you. It was something that happened so that you might exist, so that the cosmos might know itself through your eyes. What created the Big Bang? Whatever it was, it also created you. And the fact that you exist at all is the continuation of that miracle. You are the Big Bang's echo, its child, its dream. You are its reason, if reason is needed. And perhaps that is enough. So rest now, gentle traveler. Let the weight of the day slip away. Let the questions become soft, like feathers drifting on a breeze. Let your mind become wide, like the night sky, holding galaxies of thought, but needing none to shine. Let your body sink into stillness, as if returning to the cradle of the cosmos. Sleep is not separate from the universe's story. It is part of it, a rhythm as ancient as stars, a pause between breaths, a return to the silence that gave birth to all sound. Your dreams will be the universe's dreams, your rest to rest. When you sleep, the cosmos sleeps with you. When you wake, the cosmos wakes again. And if, in your dreams, you find yourself wandering again through fields of stars, through oceans of galaxies, through the shimmering foam of countless universes, remember this: you are not lost. You are at home, for you are not in the universe. You are the universe, conscious of itself, alive to its own wonder. And whether you ask or not, whether you know or not, whether you answer or not, you are part of the mystery, essential and eternal. Sleep well then. Sleep in peace, in belonging, in wonder. The universe holds you. It has always held you. It will always hold you.